Hello, I'm Pastor Scott Ingram from Omega Baptist Church in White Pine, Tennessee, and I am excited about talking with you a little bit about love or charity. Which one is it? In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the KJV of 1769 and 1611 refers to a certain Greek word as charity, while in the modern translations of the New King James Version, which is the translation of the same traditional text as the KJV, it translates the word out as love. Now, is this some modern twist trying to get us to be confused? Does this help us in some way? That's what I want to discuss as we look at the word agape, a Greek word. Let's move in here and take a look at 1 Corinthians 13 in my handy dandy Olive Tree Bible app with Strong's Concordance. All right. So we have the title here, The Greatest Gift, over the New King James Version. And we see here, though I speak with the tongue of men and of angels in the KJV and have not charity, I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. But over here I see, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. So what's being referred to here with love and charity? As you can see, the Strong's Concordance here gives us the word agape. It means love, affection, or benevolence, especially plural, a love feast or a feast of charity. The KJV, the Authorized Version, translates this word 116 times. 86 times it's translated as what? Love. Most of the time it is translated as love. 27 times it's translated as charity. Now, is it a different word being translated in the New King James Version? Let's have a look at it here. And no, this is the very same word being translated. So we see here the KJV sometimes translated this out as charity, sometimes out as love. What's the deal here? What's the difference? What is that word, that word agape? It has that idea of a love, and it means more than that. Many will tell you that it just means love, and love can be a very difficult word to understand in our English language too. Love comes across as I love ice cream, or I love my wife. There's a big difference between my love of ice cream and the love of my wife, right? But we don't hear that in the English. But when you look here in the KJV, it's using this word charity, which gave a better meaning back in 1611 or even 1769 to the word, because it referred to more than just giving things away. That's what we think of when we think of charity today. We think we're giving to some nonprofit organization. We're giving to the homeless, something like that. That's what comes to mind when we read the word charity. But charity, many years ago, had that more of that idea of love. See, agape means a love without expecting anything in return. It's kind of what God's love is. C.S. Lewis wrote The Four Loves. He really showed this idea really well, I thought, if you ever want to read that book. But that's what we do when we give to charity. We give without expecting anything in return, right? So this agape is a charitable love. If we were to look at it that way today, it's a love like God's. It says in John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." He gave his Son as a gift, as Ephesians 2:8 says. "For by grace you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It's the gift of God." He gave that gift of his love in his Son dying for our sins. But we have to receive that awesome gift of salvation. And that's God's love, isn't it? It's his agape. And this is the type of love that we're supposed to have toward one another as Christians. You see, in this particular passage, Paul was trying to get this Corinthian church to quit arguing with one another about things. They were arguing over speaking in tongues and over many other different things. And he's saying, though, though you men have these abilities to speak in this different language, or some supernatural thing occurs, if you're not doing that with agape, with this charitable love for one another, you failed. It's not any good. And so that's the idea. To just say love really loses the full definition, because we can love our family, our spouse, and our ice cream, and the English word love has very different understanding. But the problem is that word charity over time is not heard the same way. Words change over time. So when I say that out loud, that we have not charity, or as it goes down farther in the idea of verse 4, let's take a look at that. As we look here down to verse 4, it begins to give us this understanding of what charity looks like. And it is like a love, showing this type of love, this charitable love. It suffers long and is kind. It does not envy. It does not parade itself. It's not puffed up or arrogant like that. It doesn't behave rudely. It doesn't seek its own. It's not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And it says this love, this charity, never fails or faileth. So there's the idea. When we see charity here, we can respect that. There's a reason for that. And when we see love there, even though it might not be as exact as it can be today, because people don't instantly understand for you to say charity, that's a good word to use there as well. A lot of times in these translation issues, people are arguing over these things. And I've noticed that people who are Christian and are looking at these things, they'll learn not to envy, not to be filled with themselves. I've seen a lot of arrogant people argue over textual issues. And I've had people on the channel get below and just try to decimate me or something about what I'm talking about when I'm talking about translational issues. But the Christian love, the agape of God, is humble. It's not arrogant. It wants the other person to understand. It doesn't behave rudely, and it doesn't rejoice that you're wrong, but it rejoices in the truth that we can all understand together. Now, wouldn't that be a way to talk about these textual issues? So I put a little marker. I can tell if someone is all about themselves or they're all about sharing God's truth by how humble they are, how loving they are, and how they discuss the issues. Sure, we all get upset. We all get angry. We all say things we shouldn't sometimes. But that's what this whole chapter is about, which has these few different words. It's about showing that charitable love. As a matter of fact, I believe I have a better understanding of what agape is when I take the KJV and the NKJV and I put them together to understand what's being said there. Yeah, this is a charitable love. It's showing that concern for one another. And let me tell you what, just like God up in heaven above, that type of love will never fail, will it? That type of charitable love. So I hope you have agape toward one another in your textual discussions, and I really hope to hear your concerns and questions below. I hope you'll leave them with me there, and I'll try to answer any of these type of textual questions between the KJV and the NKJV, and other questions as well. We're here to share the love of God and the truth of God, because that is what will change the world. That is the gospel, is our Jesus Christ who came to die for our sins. And all of that's bound up in the love and truth of God. So I hope you have enjoyed this little study. I hope it's helped enlighten you a little bit. And I look forward to hearing from you wherever you're coming from today. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying the sermons here and have subscribed to my channel on YouTube, but I would love even more to meet with you in person at the church where I'm blessed to pastor at in White Pine, Tennessee, Omega Baptist Church.